Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati.
Hare Krishna, welcome back. This series of Bhagavad-gita, I hope you are following, because that's why it's there. So in that case, last time you heard a very long text, so this one will be a little shorter, but quite significant in a different way. I will read from Bhagavad-gita as it is, translated and commented by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We're in the second chapter, Contents of the Gita Summarized, and we have just, turned a corner. Krishna has been describing in a very analytical way everything about the nature of the soul from different angles, and sometimes giving quite drastic examples so that Arjuna shall be able to get the point. Now, Krishna said, after these analytical descriptions, he is turning to showing Arjuna how to apply this in actual life, yoga, the art of life. And that was the last episode, and today I will read text 40. Nihapikramana shosti pratyavayo na vidyate svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. In this endeavor there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Purport. Activity in Krishna consciousness, or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification, is the highest transcendental quality of work. Even a small beginning of such activity finds no impediment, nor can that small beginning be lost at any stage. Any work begun on the material plane has to be completed, otherwise the whole attempt becomes a failure. But any work begun in Krishna consciousness has a permanent effect, even though not finished. The performer of such work is therefore not at a loss, even if his work in Krishna consciousness is incomplete. 1% done in Krishna consciousness bears permanent results, so that the next beginning is from the point of 2%. Whereas in material activity, without 100% success, there is no profit. Yes, this is very interesting. We will come to this later, but this mahato bhayat, the great danger, the great fear. The greatest fear here is to lose the opportunity of the human form of life, because there are so many life forms, and according to our karma, which is very difficult to ascertain, because we are carrying karma from many lifetimes, and we never know exactly when we leave the body what will our next birth be. Even in this birth, we don't know. We are working at one place, and maybe they will close up, and what will we do then? What will we find? There are so many, like there is the big death when we actually lose the complete body, but there are many small stages where we have the rug is pulled out from under us, and we have to scramble to find a new shelter, a new existence, a new stability in life. But Krishna says, when you have begun your spiritual life, your bhakti yoga, your Krishna consciousness, whatever you have achieved, it will stay there. It will be there with you forever, even if there is some interruption, either something you willfully give it up, or due to circumstances. The next time you begin, or due to losing this body, next time you begin, you start from that exact same point. And also, we will find later in this purport that you will be able to come back to a human form of life, because Krishna consciousness, spiritual life, in many aspects, animals and human beings are not that very different. They will all eat and sleep, and they protect themselves from dangers, and they want to establish family relationships and so on. That is very similar. And they all have, animals too, you look at them, they have feelings, they become very happy, they become very disturbed, they become very protective of their own, and especially with household animals, you can see like dogs, they become very embarrassed if they have done something bad. certainly they are individual living entities, but they do not have the capacity for spiritual life. They cannot study the Bhagavad-gita. They cannot practice spiritual life. So it is a great benefit, great boon to have the human form of life. And actually the greatest fear is to lose it. And this fear is not so well known nowadays, because we find it is quite common for human beings to adopt a lifestyle that is very similar to the animal level of life. And if that's our choices, if that's how we live our lives, it's not really a punishment, it's just a course of nature. The consciousness we achieve at the time of death, we bring it with us to our next body. And if that consciousness is eating, sleeping and quarreling, we don't need a human body. We're just fine as a dog. They don't need spiritual life. They are happy as they are. That's a little detour from what I was reading, but practice Krishna consciousness, practice spiritual life, and you will be able to continue in the next life, which indicates you will be able to continue in a human body. And when we speak about this work that is finished, has a value, work that is begun and not finished, if we begin in this lifetime to study, maybe we want to study to become a doctor, and we die, and in the next lifetime we cannot just open our eyes and says, all right, I just have to finish my last year of studies and whatever else I have to do, write a dissertation or whatever. No, that's impossible. We have to start by all the preliminary studies. We have to start with beginning to learning to read. We have to start by beginning to be able to talk even. A small child cannot do that. And the risk is there that we won't get to even begin again because we don't remember. We don't remember what we did in our past life. And whatever else we take up some endeavor, if we start to bake a cake, but we take it out of the oven after 5 minutes, it's not going to be a cake. It's just going to be some flour, and you let it sit and you try to bake it again. It's just not going to work. But with Krishna consciousness, it is of the spiritual nature. It's not of the material nature. It stays with us forever. We have a little bit. We started a little bit. We started to chant Krishna's name. We started to render some service. And life may take some different turns. But the next time we start, there is no loss. We start exactly from where we began. And that also explains, we sometimes see that a person will come to start practicing Krishna consciousness, spiritual life, and it's very easy. They immediately, the philosophy makes complete sense. There are no problems giving up certain, unbeneficial activities, like you may know, we don't eat meat, we don't gamble, and so on. Some people, this is very difficult. Some people, it's just natural. It's just the next step. And it indicates, and also the doubts, there are no serious doubts, there are no serious obstacles to take up the spiritual life. And this indicates that in a previous life, such a person may have already reached a certain level, and that level, they don't have to endeavor to reach that level again. They're already there. Then maybe to go further, to advance further, there will still be some obstacles, and somebody else comes and everything is very difficult because maybe this is the beginning, the very start. Every doubt, every problem, they have to go through it. But once you've done it, you never lose it again. Ajamila performed his duty in some percentage of Krishna consciousness, but the result he enjoyed at the end was 100% by the grace of the Lord. There is a nice verse in this connection in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.17. Chaktva svadharmang charanam bhujam harer bhajanapakvo tapate tato yadi yatra kvava bhadrang abhud amushyaking ko varta apto bhajatam svadharmataha. If someone gives up his occupational duties and work in Krishna consciousness and then falls down on account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part? And what can one gain if one performs his material activities perfectly? Or as the Christians say, what profiteth a man if he gain the whole world, yet suffers the loss of his eternal soul? Material activity and their results end with the body. But work in Krishna consciousness carries a person again to Krishna consciousness even after the loss of the body. At least one is sure to have a chance in the next life to become born again as a human being, either in the family of a great cultured Brahmana or in a rich aristocratic family that will give one a further chance for elevation. That is the unique quality of work done in Krishna consciousness. Yes, because that is also part of Arjuna's doubts, that what is his actual duty? Because in a Vedic culture, in a Vedic society, this is very well known. This is a very well known fact that we have certain duties. And if you don't perform them, like, it's easy to understand. We have this like popular concept of karma, means if you go out and you hurt somebody, then you turn around and you will be hurt yourself. But even in action, when you are supposed to perform a duty, like, your family depends on you, your country depends on you, your society depends on you, and you choose to do nothing, there will be a certain reaction to that as well. And Arjuna's doubt is that he's actually a very forceful personality. He's very strong. He's very able to fix on a goal and do whatever it is that he's supposed to do. But here he can't fix on the goal because he can't tell what is right and what is wrong, what is a good thing. Whatever he looks at the fighting, that looks terrible. He looks actually at giving it up as an alternative, but Krishna is explaining to him that won't be better. That will also be very difficult. And in either case, he thinks, if I kill this respected person on the battlefield, there will be a karmic reaction. And Krishna is explaining, if you don't do your duty, that there's also a karmic reaction. So what do you do? And you don't want to give up your duty because it's not right, and there will also be a karmic reaction. And then the explanation here is that Krishna consciousness, it's a higher duty, and it includes the lower duties. So it's like, what examples do we have? If you have a family and your duty is maybe to do a small thing, your duty is to take the garbage out. But then with a bigger duty, maybe we have to move out of the house and take everything out. Well, that also includes taking the garbage out. Not a very good example, I know. But with Krishna consciousness, it is like that all the duties that we have this human body. It has been given to us by our parents, by the demigods. We have been given land to live on by whoever governs your country has allotted some space for you to live, and so on. So if we don't fulfill our duties to them, certainly we are ungrateful, and we are not very good persons if we just go in and we take something. And this is also part of Arjuna's doubts, and Krishna is saying no, because if we fulfill our duties to Krishna, then everything else is included, because it is all part of Krishna, because Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, and everything else we see around us is a part of him. So when Krishna is directly giving Arjuna the instructions, and in our case there is a chain where this knowledge has been transferred into our time, and when we hear the instructions of Krishna in the Bhagavad-gita, we can take great solace that yes, there is no more a dilemma, what is right and what is wrong. We hold on to our service to Krishna, and that includes everything. So yes, if you study Bhagavad-gita by learning some of the key verses, this verse is certainly one of them. And yes, I'm very happy to be able to be here and read the Bhagavad-gita, to put it out there, because if we can have access to this kind of foundation in our life, then our life can be very steady and peaceful, and we can find that direction that we're always looking for. And in this verse we can see Trayate Mahatobayat. It releases us from the greatest danger, from the greatest fear, in every respect. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for watching. We aim for updates every Tuesday and Friday. Please come back. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down there. We also have some links and information for you. And there is, of course, the subscribe button. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'm a Hare Krishna, and I approve this message. Subscribe.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang